Hey guys, welcome to Jeep Sheep TV. If you've been following along this far, then thanks, because there's been a lot of these, and they're not always that well edited. Anyway, hey, this is update time. So, what's been going on? Well, last time I ran out of wire, and in the midst of this giant pandemic, I was able to find some. Amazon was all backed up, but luckily Home Depot delivers to your house, so that was pretty cool. So we got some welding wire back in the welder, and now we're starting up on that corner again. So why don't I just kind of take you on a little tour, and we'll see what's going on and what's planned. Alrighty, you guys. Let's check this out. So what we've got going on here is I got this piece of angle iron in last time. You may have seen that in the community page where I posted a picture of this. I don't think I filmed it though. In the process, this corner here got all gnarly, or was all gnarly from rust, and so we put some new metal in there and all along here and there. This whole structure up here was a little bit up, and so we cut that, brought it back down. That was a mistake of the previous guy working on this, but he got pretty close. Alright, so this guy's in here. I've got these temporary braces in, so that way I can kind of keep it all in place. I was really worried about not getting it nice and straight across here, so I just got these nice and flush up against the edge. These are relatively flat, and so that helps me out. And down here, and then all of that work that I had done right here, I'll show you. Look at that. I filled that entire hole with weld, and now here it is getting all cut out. But all of that work, I had to cut that out so I could get this in. And the reason why I'm doing it this way, this is important, is I could have put the angle iron over top of the sheet metal. But the previous guy did that here. This angle iron goes up in here and it sits on top of the sheet metal. It doesn't, butt up against it. There's this small gap between here. And look at that. That is rust colored. And rust is the exact opposite of what we want on this project. That's the whole point of this. And so when I cut this out, we revealed that there is rust up there. All along that edge, I'm going to try and just seal it up real nice and make sure nothing else can get in there, because it's way too much work to cut that out and redo it. But in any future things, I'm buttoning everything up to the edge. And so you can even see up in here, edge to the top, and we'll weld that, and there won't be any places for water to get in. The other thing I mentioned was, I had mentioned that there was an angle iron in here before, and it was facing the other way, or something like that. Hold on. This was all foobar up in here. Something like, yeah, hey, it was like this. This is what it was like in there. And this is why I cut it out. Look at that. There is layers upon layers of rusty metal with sheet metal with angle iron. I mean, this is just a nightmare for water intrusion and all sorts of nonsense that's going to just destroy this tub. So this coming out was a great accomplishment in my opinion, and now everything that's going in is going to be edge to edge, so we can avoid that. Also, like I said before, this is where the roll cage fastens in, and so yeah, I'll have some sheet metal in here which won't be very strong, but I'm also thinking of when I tie this tube coming up and over and into this, I might even run some angle or some structure in here, so that way this is really, really rigid, and then it's attaching to that tube, and all of that system is then attaching to the frame. It's attaching here, and it's attaching there. And so this is going to act as like a mini frame within the body. And so this Jeep's going to have two theoretical frames, I guess, and one is going to be in the body. So that roll cage should be fairly connected to that frame. But I also want to add that in doing so, I'm still using the body mounts as connection points. And the body mounts have vibration isolating dampers in them, or just a piece of rubber or urethane. And that's really great, because when you tie your roll cage into your frame, you bolt it in, you're just voiding all of that vibration dampening that was built in beforehand. And I want to keep that, because I do drive this on road often, and I don't want to just void that and have one piece rigid while the rest is freely moving. That's just asking for trouble. So that's why we're doing this subframe thing. Now, I will be curious to see what the weight impact is, so maybe we'll try and get a weight for you guys when I get the other tub off, and we'll do a side-by-side. Now, the other tub's going to have a lot of rust and whatnot, but yeah, we'll see. We'll just see how much weight I'm adding to this. Now, as we walk through, the other body mounts here, and the roll cage mounts over there, so I might try and do something where I continue like a structure of sorts, so that way the roll cage is like over here, connected through some thicker steel. But we got to be careful because this is the wheel well, and if I want bigger tires, I need to be able to open up the wheel well, and so I don't want to block myself in with a lot of extra structure if I don't have to. So anyway, problem for another day, problem for today. Oh yeah, look at that. All right, check out this thing. So I've got a radius I've got to mimic here. So cut a couple notches in here, a couple of trial and error bending with some pliers. And let's see, from there to there. All right, I'm particularly proud of this. I hope that when it's all welded up, it turns out nice. Because look at that. It's just going to be so much fun. I don't completely suck at this. That's fantastic. Ow, hot. Yeah, check it out. So I've got the whole side is done, with the exception of up here. We'll get to that later. But like, look at this. I got this real nasty looking corner done. It's all solid metal and whatnot. There's a patch here, and there, and there, and there, and there. Yeah, okay. So next time we're going to measure this whole area, and we're just gonna cut one piece. But I was dealing with some scrap that I had going on, so we just kind of made do with what we had. Anywho, body mounts. Body mounts. Okay, so that's where a body mount goes, that dot. And it's going to go into this tube because, like I said before, super strong is good. And so this tube is going to go like that. And it's going to weld over here into the angle iron. And then it's going to go over here and jog down and do some fanciness. But nothing in this world is flat, except for all that. But anyway, nothing's flat. So we got this circle to deal with, and then we got this step down, and then we got this other step down, because why not? So what we're going to do is we're going to try something new today. We're going to try and actually kind of grind out a pocket in this, and then we're going to do some clever cutting over here, and it probably won't work right, but hopefully I don't waste my nice piece of tube, because that's all I got left. So this was a horrible idea. I'm just going to cut a notch. That's a better idea. Ta-da! That was a much better idea. Yeah. So a little bump fits right in there. And it sits kind of flat. Oops. It sits kind of flat. Got some rock to it, but that's okay because, I mean, this sheet metal's not flat. Now we do this. Yeah. All right. It sort of worked. So that notch cut out. We're sitting nice and flattish on the top there. Back here at the angle, I've got some aggressive amount of weld here and some aggressive amount of weld up here. Turns out, look at that. When I go really slow, I can make a somewhat pretty weld. Now, if my form was better, it'd be pretty, but I mean, I was actually kind of pulling a puddle there. You know, teaching yourself on sheet metal is probably not the best way to go, because I can't do that on the sheet metal. And I think that's more what I've supposed to have been doing this whole time. So I guess I've been welding too fast. But anyway, live and learn. So yeah, I've got this guy is in here, and then this guy is down a step, and I welded this edge, and then I welded that edge. And now we're going to do like a cardboard mechanics or paper or something or other that goes this way, and then we'll measure that out and cut it off of there. So I've got this much tube left, and then I'm done with the body mounts in this section. Got to deal with the ones over there and the ones back there. But yeah, so last time I put more weld than you'd find on the Titanic in here, and although that's kind of a cool idea as far as like rust prevention goes, that was a lot of welding. And rust can still get in there. That's a fairly porous area. I'm gonna have to grind that super nice to get anything at all. And the metal got all kind of warpy. I just don't think that was the right method. So I'm thinking about doing like some small pieces of sheet metal that are kind of like a slant here. So that way when moisture comes in, it kind of slides instead of getting caught in these crevices. I know this will be upside down, but water's polar, it sticks to things. So I'm thinking maybe something kind of angled here. And then for all future ones, I do just some tacks like that on either side. Maybe I'll do one more, I don't have any on this side yet. Do a couple tacks like that, and then I'll just do the slopes going up for my rust prevention. So drop that in the comments. What do you think? Crap loads of weld or tacks and some slopies? Yeah, let me know about that. I think I'm leaning towards the slopies, but it is going to be more work, but a lot less welding. So, I don't know. Let me know. Future plans, this guy here is getting welded up. And this right here, I'm probably going to cut it. It's going to have a sleek surface to it. So, stay tuned for that. Yeah, it'll hold. Oh, I found a cool engineering thing. Kind of. All right, check it out. This beam right here, okay, it has a nut here, and it's got a nut here. So you can see light through that one. This beam down here has a nut there, and a nut down here. But it looks like only that one's being used, and that one's being used, which means that these are the same part. Yeah, I'm assuming that's some kind of money-saving mechanism to where they only need to create one part number for this bottom of the body. But what's fascinating to me is it almost seems like it'd be cheaper to have one less nut. I don't know, maybe the process was just that tuned in to welding both of them that they couldn't shut off one side for separate part numbers. Plus, this is going to keep things straight easier because you can't mess it up. And what else is interesting about this is the locations of them aren't exactly the same. Like one is a little bit cockeyed from the other. And so I don't really know what that's all about. Anyway, it's not that fascinating, but it is worth noting that there is an extra threaded nut on the bottom of your Jeep, so that way they could save a part number. How cool.